The seeds we plant determine the fruits we harvest, just as the choices we make shape the outcomes we face. No matter where our future takes us, we must never forget where and why we planted these seeds. I was born on the day of the full moon. That's why my mother named me Yue. Later, I realized that no matter how far from home we are, the same moon always watches over us. 我得找个能看见月亮的地方才住。There it is. The smell that comes when the rain hits the dirt. It affects us, I think. Bringing back.
Oh, thank heavens! No more befuddling riddles and clouds of sleeping gas. I've never loved this world as much as I do now. You were quite clever to cooperate with Alberto to stall for time. But how did you know that Ezio was coming to save us?
I didn't know. But I knew that irritating Alberto would risk the safety of Sotheby and Leonardo. Moreover, I think I may have actually figured out what the relics truly are.
That sound is familiar, isn't it?
I'll take a look. Sicuro. He means he's safe. Looks like my friends from the Thieves Guild have already rescued Leonardo and Signorina Sotheby.
You seem to have a lot of friends. I always thought that assassins worked alone.
Quite the opposite. True assassins are more than just killers. We are the manifestation of a belief. A belief in freedom, and the ability to fight for it. We do not hold to any authority but our own. We are free to follow our own path. And many share that belief. That's why we are never alone.
Just like the artist that painted these. I imagine they must see each other as fellow believers in art.
So, the outline of their story should be clear now. About 20 years ago, a group of painters led by Uccello started working on the fresco here. Even today, you can still sense the enthusiasm in their work.
The essence of linear perspective lies not only in reproducing reality, but in the narrative quality of space itself.
You have only scratched the surface. If you truly want to grasp the essence of the concept, I suggest you review Plato's theory of forms. Rather than simply copying nature, as artists, we should strive to reveal their true ideals through our work.
I'm so jealous of them. They are so talented and knowledgeable. Unlike me, I feel dizzy just seeing those guidelines.
Bah! Let me show you some tricks. Better than mere linear perspective.
Here, Uccello lifted a stained glass to showcase his wondrous optical phenomenon.
Not again, Uccello! You can't keep altering our work with that strange pigment of yours! Oh, what a mess. And it goes against our patron's instructions. What if they find out about it?
Look closely.
The modified colors and lines do give the work a little more life. Fine, I admit it. You know what you're doing.
He's right. I say we keep it. It's not like our patrons are ever smart enough to figure these things out anyway.
It never occurred to me painting could be so liberating. Thank you for enlightening me.
Huh? Of course. To paint is to find freedom. That is what it always has been.
It was a time of joy and of meaningful creation. But it didn't last long.
I'm sorry. We must suspend funding for now. There is simply no money to pay you.
All at once, the painters and artisans were kicked out of the cathedral. Stripped of their right to finish their final painting, leaving no room for negotiation.
No payments and no written records were left behind.
But life had to go on. These painters and artisans scattered each one, doing what they could to earn their bread. But always returning to the unfinished fresco that tugged at their heartstrings.
That night, I returned to the dome, but I never expected to find Uccello there as well. Then others came, one by one. Turns out, I wasn't the only one reluctant to leave our work behind.
Again, Uccello lifted the stained glass and... Their story has come to a pause here. Now, let's finish it.
Let's leave something behind for our own sake. Birds with greyish feathers, bells that ring at dusk, or the Arno River running free. Let's do it with all that we have left. Our brushes and pigments.
So that is what all of this is.
What happened after that? The treasure hunters must have opened the secret chamber and found the Compliner's relics, right?
Well, there was no treasure inside. Just a few letters and a painter's address.
That's it? But what about all those symbols? Don't tell me you made it all up.
Easy, easy, allow me to continue. Long after the poor painters and artisans scattered to the wind, each of them received a special pigment from Uccello. They used it on other projects they worked on, leaving their signatures, these symbols behind to mark their work. And so concludes our Firenze fresco mystery. To celebrate this touching story, I've hired a team of talented artists to reproduce their paintings in a new book. And I gave it a wonderful title. La Primavera di Firenze.
Che delusione.
È un titolo terribile.
I've got something even better here. A map straight from the Spanish court with a direct route to India. Think of the opportunities that await you.
have a serious question. What is there in India that is worth all this fuss? If Marco Polo is to be believed, not even there can one escape the troublesome rumors of merchants and courtiers.
Unfortunately, humanity's thirst for gossip knows neither geographical nor temporal boundaries. But this apple still finds it so strange that all the rumors about these complaners turned out to be false, from top to bottom. Seems like, no matter the era, lies always travel faster than the truth.
Well, I wouldn't say that. In fact, the rumors didn't really hold much weight until you arrived.
Huh?
The Complaners' relics weren't the most important thing we were searching for. In fact, we were looking for an apple. One very much like you. So when you turned up, looking like the very apple we had lost, it was only natural for us, and the Templars, to keep an eye on you. Of course, it turns out you weren't the apple we were looking for.
And you're only telling me this now? I thought we were friends.
It's only because I consider you friends that I had to keep this from you. That apple brings bloodshed and war wherever it appears.
Well, then it does sound like quite the troublesome thing.
You caused quite a stir in Firenze yourself. No need to be modest.
Esatto. You are an amazing apple in your own right. My only regret is that I never got the chance to dissect you and study your inner workings.
I hope you don't mind, but I think you may have to keep that regret forever. Ah! Miss Sotheby, why did you sneak up on me like that?
I did not. I just wanted to tell you that Vertin and I met an old gentleman down there who was kind enough to give us directions. Well, he said if we keep heading northwest along the Arno River, and then, anyway, we'd end up in Prato Vecchio eventually.
I do believe you may have skipped some, if not all, of the necessary information.
Ezio knows the way. All we need to do now is deliver the letter to Signore Uccello. I suppose we must say goodbye to our dear Firenze for now.
Oh, that red is so vibrant, like an endless field of poppies.
What did I say? This place has the best view.
It is positively gorgeous. I see why you insisted we all come up here together.
A place of beauty like this is a fitting place for farewells. By the way, I had a discussion with some of my fellow painters. We discovered that Prato Vecchio is rich in a special mineral. One need only grind and heat it properly. Then presto! You have yourself some invisible pigment.
So that's the source of the pigment used in the fresco.
Uccello was born in Prato Vecchio. It's safe to assume he brought some from his hometown to Florence.
Just a hint of this powder, and you are able to create a vast array of remarkable colors. Among them, the most famous is a color some call Firenze Red.
Firenze Red. It's a good name.
Finally. That darling little house up ahead. Must be Mr. Uccello's home. I just realized something. When he learns from us that his friend Bianca has been dead for years, he might be very sad.
Signore Uccello, if he's even still alive, will be an old man by now. A man of his age grows familiar with death and farewells. Let's go.
Oh, who are you? Where did you pop up from?
Apologies for the intrusion, Signora. My name is Ezio Auditore from Firenze. We're here looking for Paolo Uccello. We have a letter here addressed to him from one of his friends.
Friends? I'm not sure my father would agree he had any friends.
Is that so? Well, the letter is signed Bianca.
Bianca? You should have said so earlier. Please, put the letter down. It's meant for me.
The letter mentions a particular piece of stained glass and details of the fresco in the Florence Cathedral. We assumed it must have been meant for Mr. Uccello.
It appears I've deceived you as well. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Antonia Uccello. And perhaps the Uccello you friendly strangers are looking for. I see. So Bianca has passed away too. That fresco was the last work we did together. Father passed away soon after, leaving behind my sick mother and a pile of debts. I used to follow Father wherever he went, whatever job he took. Sculpture, masonry, painting, frescoes, everything. I learned all I could from him, and after he died, hoped to accept commissions independently. But as a woman, it was almost impossible. But once I left Firenze and began using Father's name to make a living, some of his old patrons were kind enough to keep sending work my way, provided I concealed my true identity.
Oh, so you're the imposter!
I admit I tried to imitate Father's style in my earlier works, but I'm much more than just an imposter now.
No. A painter's mind should be a mirror, capturing and reflecting the truth and beauty of nature. To simply copy the works of another? No, Signora. It seems you still have much to learn.
Huh. Is that what you think? Well, I've heard it all before. Mine's as a mirror. Ridiculous. Let me tell you, a painter's mind should be like a sheet of transparent glass. It refracts and transforms the external world, then reconstructs its image inside the painter's brain, rather than simply copying the natural world around us.
Oh, That is an intriguing theory. Odd, perhaps, but not without merit.
You just wait here. I'll show you with one of my recent works.
She seems so full of life.
She reminds me of my sister. Women like her have seen much pain, but they never let it defeat them.
If only her understanding of painting were a bit more profound, I believe we might become good friends.
Perdonatemi, may I ask, what was your name again? You said you are an auditore, see?
Yes. You know about my family?
I thought so. You look so familiar. I'm sure you know your mother, Maria Auditore, funded my father for a time. Father conducted a lot of his research on perspective in lighting. He passed that knowledge on to me.
I see. And you applied that knowledge to your frescoes, huh?
What goes around comes around, right?
Architects, sponsors, painters, artisans, assassins, outsiders. Our identities may differ, but our actions are all deeply interconnected. This apple has never felt so moved by the warmth and power of community.
I heard a lot about your family from Father. He was always very grateful to you.
Mi dispiace. If Mother hadn't cut your funding, perhaps you wouldn't have had to.
Your family helped us more than we could have ever asked for. Your mother once commissioned my father to paint a family portrait. Do you remember?
Family portrait? No, I had no idea.
It was many years ago, and the painting was never finished because of what happened to your family. This is the only draft left, but I believe it should be returned to you. Consider it a token of thanks for delivering this letter all the way from Firenze.
Grazie. This is... Padre, Madre, Federico, Claudia, Petruccio.
This draft captures the younger version of you perfectly. I can vouch for that.
What a lovely family portrait. Even the weather looks lovely. The painter did a great job capturing a wonderful moment.
One of the sweetest of my life.
is a good life we lead, brother. The best. May it never change. And may it never change us.
We will experience all this over and over again. All forms of power at your fingertips.
Really do that to a poor little maid. Listen up! A bloody handprint on Frozen's
Nothing but shows like this.
Really do that to a poor little maid. My next performance, bubbles bursting!
We did it! We made it through another storm!
We will experience all this over and over again.
My next performance, bubble restored!
We need simply rely on the microphysical power.
A real troublemaker of a guest, aren't you? Really do that to a poor little maid. Listen to the melody of Wind and Rain.
A blasting that shows like pace.
Dedicate the song to you.
In the repeating cycle, we may feel regret, or even perish in the chaos. Fortunately, this time, we were given a perfect ending.
This trial is mine to judge.
I can't read it. Time to turn the page. Woohoo! Really?
Noble or lowly, sin shall be punished.
Like a metaphor?
Noble or lowly, sin shall be punished.
And now it's easier to understand.
Pay for thy sins with thy blood.
Are you ready to shake?
Greetings in full.
Left hand up. Now right hands up. Peace and love. Peace and love. To transcribe. And now it's easier to understand. Briefing complete. Was I helpful, timekeeper?
I was born on the day of the full moon. That's why my mother named